good?
Are you good? We're live. All right, what's up, guys?
Hey guys, how are you? It's been a while.
It has been. It's been a while. Just life started happening, and we're trying to make some big changes in our life. So
Big moves.
right? Big boy and big girl moves.
We actually figured out that we are now adulting.
After all these years, we are now completely adulting. But so last episode.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
been what, 2 months? Yeah.
It's been about 2 months. That's right. It has been about 2 months. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm having technical issues with my mic. It just keeps.
So do you want to catch them up? You guys want to be caught up to speed real quick, straight to the point, or you want to get caught up to speed with fun, adventurous stories?
They can't answer us. So we're going to have to tell them exactly what we've been doing, right?
That's right.
All right. So we thought about going up north. So we wanted to move. We wanted to get out of South Florida.
Yes.
Right? Everybody knew that. We were leaving South Florida. We wanted some change. We wanted mountains.
That's right. So last recall, we were heading to the mountains.
Right? We were looking in the Carolinas, and we were looking in Georgia. But then, and we drove up there.
Yes.
We drove it. We traveled the whole place. You know, we stood out there for a couple of days.
We found a really cool location that we liked.
We liked it. We liked the properties. And then once we got back, all these snowstorms started happening up north.
And then I'm looking at my phone and I'm like, wow, 32 degrees. I don't think I could take that anymore.
We've been there. We've done that. We're from the Northeast. So we don't want to do the cold anymore. The cold for us is done. Like, we don't want that. So we started looking in Florida.
Yes.
Again, right?
Again.
So, all right. So we want to stay in Florida. We came to the decision, especially with the cold.
Correct.
The cold just...
Yeah, that was a deal breaker.
That was a deal breaker. We
I
wanna
like
be in
the sun.
cold. Yeah.
The sun and I were very good friends.
It makes us feel the sun. When you wake up in the morning, like this morning, we took our dog Gracie for a walk, and it was just so nice having the sun in your back. You can walk with a t-shirt on. Just something about Florida, you know?
Yeah, and even if it gets really cold, it's not really that cold. I mean, you'll hear me complaining. It's so cold.
Yeah, but you get the cold for like 2 weeks here in Florida, and then it's gone.
If that.
But we usually get a stretch about 2 weeks of
Cold.
cold considered for Florida.
Yes.
Right? Because it can be 39 degrees.
But it does get really cold because even our fruit trees, they lose their
Well, at
leaves.
39 degrees, they have to be at a certain degrees.
That's true.
Like freezing is 32. So like up north, you get people you get places in the teens. You get 19, 18, 8. Fuck, we probably got listeners or viewers going on right now. I said, man, I was in the negatives.
Yeah, no, it is. And in
It never gets that cold here.
northeast, freezing.
It doesn't get that-
-4.
Minnesota up
Negative
there, like how
13.
cold can it get? Like that's just ridiculous. Like that's not human weather. I call this here. We're finishing perfect human weather in South Florida.
That's right.
Like it's coming to an end. So while everybody in the Northeast was frozen, we were going through perfect human weather. 60s, 70s, low 70s.
Mm-hmm.
You want to wear a t-shirt? You can. You want to wear a sweater? You can. You can dress however you want. You can't throw on a coat. You can throw on a jacket, but you can't throw on a coat.
A coat, no.
No, it's too hot. Why? Because it's perfect human weather.
You want to know something super funny? The other day I was writing a post. I was writing to a friend, answering her, and it was in reference to the weather, and I completely forgot how to spell coat.
You forgot how to spell coat?
Yeah, like, I guess because it's not a word I tend to write often.
Yeah.
I said, how do you spell coat? Oh, coat. I mean, I got it quick, but it was not something that just...
Some words, some words.
That's how long it's probably been that I haven't wrote the word coat.
You know what? I come to some words like that, and what I usually do is that I just hit the little mic, and I say it.
That's how you spell it.
There's some words that you just forget to spell because usually autocorrect does it. But then when you don't even know how to start it, or like it just starts giving you all the recommendations, but they're not the recommendations that you're looking to get or the word you're looking to get. Fuck it. All right. Erase. Meningitis.
Mine's is usually epiphany.
So there we go. Like those are words I don't usually write. Like I don't know how to spell epiphany. A-P.
No, it's E-P-A.
Epiphany.
No, E-P-H-A-I-N-A. I don't know.
You see?
That's why I just say epiphany.
Epiphany. All right. So we just told you guys we don't know how to spell that well. All right. Some words.
I don't think a lot of people do.
A lot of people know how to spell.
They do, but some words are tough. So hey, listen, the English language is not an easy language.
It's a very hard language.
You need to
It
know
is.
a lot of rules.
You gotta go to school. You gotta go to school. Look, it's so hard. You have to go to school. Now, the way I always saw it, like people, like when I used to go to school, right? It used to be about identifying verbs and pronouns and nouns. To this day, I still don't know. Like honestly, I don't know yet. My whole theory or analogy on learning verbs, nouns, pronouns, adverbs, and all that stuff was, if it doesn't sound right when you're saying it or writing it, don't put it.
That makes sense.
To me, that's how I cannot identify which one is the verb. I cannot identify which one is the noun. I don't know that. I just know that it's either grammatically correct or it's not. Running yesterday, today the store. It just doesn't sound right to me. I was running yesterday, but today I went to the store in the car.
Yeah.
Now I just
it's true.
but that's the way I always saw it. But they test us on this information.
I think I probably got a whole bunch of that wrong too.
I always got that wrong. I was never. I still.
Then they trick you because they put two nouns in the sentences, and then you're supposed to. Hey, I already identified one. Why do I have to identify two?
I have no idea. And what's the point? Like, what's the point behind identifying it? I really don't know.
What's the point?
Okay, what's the point? Okay, so that's the action word. Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. Does it sound? Did you get the message that I told you? Yes. Was it correctly? Was it easily understandable? Because that's all the rules of speaking or writing. Yes. Okay, so. Does it matter that that's an action word? Now, if you're going to be a writer and that's going to be your profession, then I assume you have to know certain things because there needs to be certain action words and commas and stuff like that.
But that's punctuation, not knowing where the verb goes.
I never got the point of it.
I get the past tense, present tense, and that. I get that because you have to know. You can't say she did it.
Correct. So just speak normal.
Exactly.
But why identify it when it's already identifiable?
Because then they wouldn't have anything else to teach in school.
Just teach people how to speak correctly.
But then the teachers would have to know how to speak correctly, and half of them probably don't.
Half of them? I don't know. That's a weird statistics.
I'm just
Let's
kidding.
see. I don't know.
Well, you don't know. You don't know you don't know if a person speaks right.
Yeah, but that's the norm.
And you're teaching English.
But that's what the consensus of a civilization comes to agreement with.
I think communication,
Yeah, like we come to an agreement. This is the way we communicate with each other, We speak to each other, we do this, it's a right way of communicating. Thank you. Yes, sir. No, sir. But okay, in yes, sir, which is the action. Why did they say it correctly? Was it written correctly? Yes.
That is an interesting
Or
point.
maybe some people I didn't need that. Maybe some people really need to know what the verb is for them to be able to understand how to speak correctly.
And at what grade do you learn that? I think first.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Elementary for sure.
Such a young age to know.
Yeah, but what's the point? Like, hey, let's see.
I truly don't know what the point is.
Hey guys, I want you guys to take all these words and form sentences with it and put them grammatically correct. I don't care which one's the verb. Just make sure that the words make sense or the sentence makes sense.
I agree.
In my point of view.
Well, I agree too. So,
how do we get into the school and verbs and English? Oh, because we forgot how to spell coat.
That's right.
Right?
Because it was cold.
Because it was cold.
Here in
so
Florida.
we decided, so here in Florida, back to the subject, we're ending perfect human weather and we're starting now hell. All right, it's going to be hell now.
My favorite time of the year.
Because it gets really hot. Well, it's really nice if you don't have to be commuting in traffic.
Exactly.
Because then, you go
But
to
then you're
this.
always in your car with the AC, so
That's
it's
what I'm
not really
saying.
a big deal, yeah.
But there's people who have to commute.
Yeah.
And it gets hot. Some people still.
Oh, that's right. They have to walk, but it's not that much here though.
Well, we don't commute. We don't know. But I bet you those trains be packed, and and there's a lot of people probably driving around South Florida without AC.
That's true.
And they have to drive in their car windows down, and then you may have to park a certain distance away, and then have to walk 2 blocks. And walking In Florida and walking in Vegas is two different things. In Florida, if you're walking, if you walk 2 blocks in the summertime, when you get to the destination, your shirt is going to be completely soaked, right? It's soaked. Now, if you're out in Vegas, it's dry heat. You won't be sweaty like that. It's hot. It's still freaking hot.
I just love the smell of the summer. Summer smells different.
Yeah.
It just smells like, and the vibe, it just feels like summer. Summer's so much fun. I love summer.
Did we get conditioned for that?
Yeah, because we were kids and we would get out of school at that time.
Yeah, summer.
But it's
summer
just,
break.
it smells different. The nights are longer. There's
Feels
more
different.
barbecues happening, pool time. Like, life is just different in the summer here in Florida. It's fun. You hear the kids outside. You see a bunch of kids riding bikes.
Well, imagine how much anticipation there is right now in New York because summer's coming.
Oh, is it a good anticipation or bad one?
Of course.
Oh, 'cause
Great.
They can finally get out. Oh, yeah, it's cold up there.
It's
See,
not
you
just-
forget. You forget.
So it's cold up there, and with the restrictions, nobody can eat out in places.
Oh, that's right.
Indoors
So
are
now
closed.
at least businesses will pick up
No,
some.
but not just business, but people going out. Because now people are just stuck at home. A lot of people, there's other podcasters, there's other people that said, you know what, fuck this. I'm leaving New York. I'm leaving because too much restrictions. I can't go out. I used to like New York because in the winter there was theater and there was museums and there was the nightlife and there's restaurants galore everywhere in New York. And all of a sudden that got taken away.
gone.
So in the summertime, you can go to Central Park, hang out, have a great time. You can go for a walk in Manhattan. You can go walk Battery Park. You can go for beautiful walks.
But not in the winter.
In the winter, especially now with the winters they're getting now.
I know New York's gotten the
whole
seasons,
Northeast.
Yeah, the whole Northeast.
Freaking cold. Colorado just got hit with like, I don't know, like 40 inches of snow.
Oh.
Or something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
Colorado's used to that. Like one day they'll
Yeah,
be
but it
out
was
in the pool,
big.
hanging out,
There
and
was
then
a
all
lot
of a
snow.
sudden,
And one day,
a bunch
19
of
inches. That's almost 2 feet of snow, man.
the world's changing.
That's almost 2 feet of snow. And then, so it's beautiful. Snow's beautiful. Like the first day of snow is the best because the snow is fluffy, everything's white, is amazing. But then if you're a homeowner, you got to go out there and start shoveling because you got to create a path to get out.
Or if you're a cool kid, you go out and you start charging people to shovel the snow.
Kids don't do that nowadays
Why don't they?
because something happened. Something happened in our generation, and I'm going to say I may be guilty of it. All right? Kids back in the days would be able to walk 3-4 blocks, go shovel snow, cut lawns. I'm not going to let my kid do that. I don't let my kid leave that far. Where there's a lot of fear now. So parents don't want you going to whose house? Oh, my neighbor. Because you don't know who that neighbor is.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. Now, if you know your neighbors, yeah, man, go for it. It's cool. But
now COVID.
COVID, that's one. Two, we are sheltering our kids, and I'm guilty of it, because when I was 8 years old, I used to walk to the store and come back. And now we had a business, right? And right across the street from a business, there was a 7-Eleven. I wouldn't let my son walk there by himself.
Yeah, but that 7-Eleven wasn't too. It was a shady 7-Eleven.
I grew up in a shady town.
Yeah, but
I
everybody
grew up
knew you
in-
lived there. US 1 is different. US 1 is not anything like the streets you grew up on. Transit, yes, but not.
Would you let him walk to the other section?
Well, there's a difference because in New York, there's so many people in the street
There is a lot of people
that you don't have to worry about somebody taking your kid. Here, there's not too many people in the street. And you know what? Nowadays, people don't even help. And
Well,
it's
you
not their
can't.
fault.
You can't.
It's not their
Look what
fault.
happened with that principal
Yeah,
or that
it was
teacher.
a teacher.
2 kids get into a fight in the local school, right? So there's these 2 kids that get into a fight. They're fighting. Blah, blah, blah. Things. It always happens in school.
It happens.
You guys remember?
Yeah.
There's fights all the time. So anyway, the teacher grabbed one of the students. I don't know the whole story, but I kind of saw some clips of it, right? Grabs one of the students and slams him on the floor, and now parents got upset, of course.
But he didn't slam him deliberately. He slammed him along with himself. Like they both went over. He was just trying to break up the fight.
Now, but training costs money, right? Because it does. So should teachers, because I know you have security guards, but they should be trained. Do they get trained? Or they have, resource officers now in schools?
Yep.
Like actual police officers in schools now, right? So they get training, but what kind of training do they get? Because I've seen some videos where they freaking also slam the kids. I've seen, resource officers slam kids against the wall, right? Now, should they get trained in special ways to separate assailants? And there's a very easy way where you don't hurt anybody and you can get the person right off, right? You just hook their arm and you slide them back this way. And you throw your whole body weight that way. So if one child's on top, you hook the arm. Your body, if this arm gets hooked back, you're going that way. If it goes this way, you can kind of hold. But especially if you're here and you're in an unbalanced position, you hook this arm and you just bring it back. You just hook it this way. You're not going to try to break their arm.
No, you're just going to pull them off. And they're kids.
They're going to go.
So you're going to be a little bit bigger than them.
They're going to go. So that's an easy way without having to. They got into a fight. Like, why would you take somebody's side when they're both fighting? Now, if one kid is about to kill the other kid, and you should use some brute force. But if they're just fighting, everybody gets into fights.
And now
with people.
And now now the teacher's in trouble. So
now will teachers be allowed to protect your child in school if they get into a fight? Or is the teacher going to be like, if I help them and I help them the wrong way, am I going to lose my job?
Well, I heard, and then another teacher got scrutinized for sitting and calling the resource officer and saying, hey, the police is coming, the police is coming. Who's right? They're both wrong. Well, no. The one who separated it, in my opinion, is right.
Yeah, but if it's two teenage boys, I don't know how old the kids were. I haven't seen the video.
They were in high school.
Right? All right, so they're teenage boys, right? Now, can a woman
she'll get hit.
really separate two teenage boys going at them? So she did the right thing. Hey, somebody call for help.
And then you also,
but you can get hurt.
And then you also have to understand the mindset of the kids. If they're kids that have a good mindset and they just got into a little verbal scuffle and they fight, you're most likely able to break it off and be okay. But if you're talking to some hoodlum kids that have no respect, it's gonna be you're gonna end up getting hurt.
Well, just look at referees in professional MMA fights, even boxing. Like, they get hit sometimes, and they're trained. At this. They train how to stop an assailant or somebody when the person's already knocked out. Teachers have no training. How often does a teacher train
and then you don't
to separate a fight?
They don't. And then you don't know the group of kids that they're among.
And kids fight a lot. Kids fight a lot.
And lately it seems like it's getting worse because they're now more exposed to all this fighting. I'm not gonna lie, they're exposed to it through Fortnite. They're exposed to it through UFC. See it how you see it. They're still seeing it, and it's normalized as being something that
but we
people
had that
do.
all our lives. We had Rambo.
We had boxing.
We had Rambo.
Yeah, but we had boxing, but it was more like tactical fighting. Now UFC, it's
tactical.
It is, but they're fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting.
They're not just boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boxing was more slow, so it's being normalized more. And
I think violence we live in violence. That's what humans do. We've been going at war since the beginning of time.
I actually saw a picture of 4 generations of people in war. So you had World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, and what was prior to the Vietnam War?
Prior or after?
Before.
Before the Vietnam War, we had the Korean War.
Was it?
Yeah, there was North Korea. I think we fought with North Korea.
Okay, so there you go. We've never stopped.
No, we've never stopped. So saying that we have more violence now, it's not. I think we're human, And violence is in our nature. We enjoy seeing violence. You may want to deny it, but you enjoy it because it's in our nature, right? It's just astonishing for us. You know, we'll probably get some feedback saying, no, 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 I don't enjoy violence. Yeah, you probably don't enjoy it, but it's made you, you know, generational wise. We've been at wars, you know, since as far as we can remember.
Yeah.
As far as we can remember, there's always been conflict.
One,
there's always
one
been
group trying to take over the other group.
yeah. And
One person
imagine in
trying to
those
take over the
days
other
you live in a
person.
village and all of a sudden, you know, your tribe goes and fights that tribe. And if they win, some of them may never come back because even though we won, some of our side still died. Or how about if you're in the losing village and that other tribe comes in? You know how many people saw that? Just a freaking tribe or army just rolling in, just killing everybody.
Yep. And if you managed to get away, good for you. And if you didn't,
And if you
goodbye.
manage to get away, imagine how traumatized you are. And then you pass down that trauma in your children
DNA.
through your DNA and generational. So, but imagine.
But it's our job to stop it.
It's in our nature. It's in our DNA.
But you can stop it.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can. You
How?
can. Because you're in control.
Yeah, 102. I'm not gonna go fight anybody. Like
The only way violence would be taken away is if violence was never shown. If it's never taught, you can't do it. That's how I see it.
yeah, but
Because-
we're born violence. Freaking kids. You see kids hitting other kids immediately. Like
Yeah,
that's
but
violence.
they're just looking for hierarchy. They who's alpha. That's okay, but that's violence is a different ballgame. Like going outside and hitting somebody for being mean or rude. People are gonna be mean or rude. You let them. That's their business, not yours. Shouldn't affect you.
Yeah, but some people need to get punched in the face.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. If you are rocked by something somebody says, then that means that you're not too sure on who you are. But if you know, like for example, I understand why kids get into a fight. Like let's say one kid calls another kid a bad name. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Sorry, calls him a faggot. The other kid gets upset and fights with him. The only reason the other kid is fighting is because he's trying to protect who he believes he is. But if that kid was solid in who he is, he would care less. Walk away and be like, nah, whatever. Ain't nobody got time for that. You see what I'm saying? It's the lack of understanding that words are just words. You give them meaning and they can be hurtful. They're just words. They're just words, and some people like to use them nasty and they like to put them into sentences that sound really ugly, and it's your job to be like, yes, I accept it because that is exactly who I am, or say, you know what, I really don't care what you think because it doesn't matter. But kids are not taught that. Confidence is taken away very young from kids.
How?
From us yelling at them as parents, from us being so busy at work that instead of us trying to have patience, we get stressed out with them, and we, instead of us trying to figure out why they're doing bad in math, we go, it's, you know, you're not studying enough, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And then it's just a lot of things. Teachers in school, some teachers in school are very selective. There's some kids that they like, there's others that they don't like. Why? Because that's just life. There's some kids that are A students, and of course you're gonna love the ones that are very compliant with the law, with your law in your classroom, and then you have those that completely, that need a little, they just need love and attention. And it's all up to us. You can't blame society. If anything's happening out there, it's all because of us. It's all because of the parent that parented that child, and it's all because we have not been able to, as a society, grab them and treat them the way they should be. Because you know why? Because violence creates money. Violence is a lucrative business. So, but if we're good parents and we try to do our best, kids will be okay. If not, then you have the poor kids that end up being violent.
Yeah, but there's some parents that have been amazing parents and their kids have turned out like shit.
Like who?
Freaking.
Because I haven't seen a really, really good parent have a bad kid. Something has to happen. Something had to happen.
You don't think there's great parents out there that did everything for their child, but then that kid just, in his nature or whatever it was, he or she was just an asshole.
But but then who taught that kid to be an asshole?
How about if he or she is?
I don't think that's how it is.
No?
I think every single behavior that you have is a learned behavior. And I think that every emotion that you feel is from an experience that you've had.
Because some like juveniles, kids who go out there and they have hardworking parents, you know.
Parents are not home. No attention to the kid.
Yeah, but then there's other parents out there that are not home and their kids come out great.
Yeah. It all depends. It all depends on how they feel. Do they feel loved?
So it's
Do they feel respected? Do they feel
how about
cared
if
for?
how about if the parent is doing that, and thus
But
I
something
don't
has
know.
to be lacking.
I feel like listen, it's
Something
like
has to be lacking, because a kid is not gonna be bad just because he was born bad.
it's like sexuality, right? Being gay or not being gay and stuff like that. Like you're born gay, like it doesn't happen with how your parent affected you as a child. That's who you were born to be.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah. So what about good and bad? Isn't that also born? Like you see it in their face. They're just bad kids, and then they turn. Some of them change their way around, and they go on. They become great adults, you know. And then and vice versa. Some kids are really good when they're young, and then they turn up and they're like just freaking assholes. Because listen, every asshole you've met in the street, he was probably a little asshole when he was a kid too.
or something happened to him growing up or her,
Yeah, you know what happened? That nobody put them in their place.
or maybe they bullied them, and then when they got older and they realized that they could actually speak for themselves, they became hurtful. I don't know. There could be a lot of situations. It doesn't have to just be that. It could be someone who had a bad experience growing up. It all depends on your past experiences. That dictates what your future experiences are if you don't know how to take care of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people are just, some people are born good and they want to exploit their goodness. There's people that are born bad and they exploit their badness. Some people are born brilliant and they exploit their brilliance.
Yeah, I see it differently, but that's okay.
No, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who are born, they just have a gift. They were born with a gift from God. Freaking being 6'6" and being super athletic. Did you work hard at it and make it happen? Yes, but you were born with that. That was your gift. That was why you were put on this earth for, you know? And you were given this gift. You know, everybody's given something. Whether it's good or bad, you're given something when you're born. And either if it's bad, then you can suppress it and try to focus on good things. But what about if your skill is to fucking kill people?
Then you go into the army and you become a hitman.
A hitman for the army? Armies have hitmen?
For the military.
Or the militaries have
Yeah.
hitmen?
They should. They do. They have snipers.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're good at it. That's what they were born to do. And now they're out there, they're exploiting it.
Yeah.
So I think we're born with these things, right? Like there's some kids, right? Some kids just take things apart. Like, look, he takes things apart, he puts them back. He always wants to know how it is. I wasn't that kid. Like I never took anything apart. I didn't want anything to be apart. I wanted everything to stay exactly the same. But yet, those kids grow up and they start modifying their cars.
My brother.
They start, modifying this, doing this,
Taking it apart,
I want to
putting it
see
back
if I
together.
can make this better. Not me. But that's not who I am.
That's okay.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying we're born with these things, with these ideas inside of our heads already. I feel like we're born with these gifts, these are Achilles heels, or whatever it is, or these faults. And some people, I think, are born bad, and being like this little people who've made 6'6" people, But the thing is, and something that we've spoken about on the podcast before, is that we're the most complicated thing or organism or living thing on Earth, just because of our ingenuity, our mindset, the way we communicate, the way we use tools, the way the human race is. But you don't have to be qualified to
use these gifts.
No, to create one.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to be qualified. You can just.
But then again, that's the government getting in and telling people.
I know, but I mean, they try to teach you how to, like in school. When they teach you parenting classes and sex ed classes, They give you a potato, they'll give you an egg, or they'll give you a thing, and you have to carry it around. Like,
But that's not really parenting.
but that's not parenting.
That's just showing them that they won't have time because they take time away.
Yeah, but it's not a good lesson.
No,
Like-
it's not.
Like it's a complicated
Process.
process. It's a complicated event of your life. It's a complicated life changing event. Life altering when you have a child, because they come in with ideas, thoughts, and you can have two kids, and no matter how you treat them, they're both going to be completely different.
Yeah, like twins.
Yeah, they'll be completely different.
We were talking about that yesterday, remember?
Yeah, because we met a twin. Yeah.
We met a twin, and I was like, oh my God, how cool. She's like, well, he's not my identical twin. I was like, but still, you guys shared the placenta at the same time. You guys probably punched each other a couple of times while in the belly.
So, you have these complicated beings who have thoughts, because you have thoughts.
Their own thoughts, emotions.
Feelings, ideas, planning, gifts, setbacks, faults, because we're all born with them.
And now amplify that by 7 billion.
Yeah, but how qualified are we?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we should slow it down a bit.
But you can't do that, because life has to continue, and we need more and more people. We need more people. You think you don't, but governments need more people.
Yeah, but
Governments
it doesn't matter what the government needs. It's what the planet needs. Because if we don't have a planet, it doesn't matter how much the government wants to jump up and down. If there's no planet to live on, there's gonna be no government.
That's why Elon Musk is taking us to Mars.
No, he's taking himself and his family to Mars.
Not yet. They say by 2049,
He's not taking.
There might be a
anybody else.
civilist, or is it 2100? There's a picture out there, right? That they claim to be a person that time traveled from 21 something, and they show a picture of Mars, actually a civilization in Mars already. And of course,
Do you believe in time traveling?
I don't know. I have no
I
proof
kind of believe in it a little bit.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen some crazy photos, but of course nowadays you see a picture and anything can be altered.
Yeah, but
Anything.
You have to be able to time travel, because time is linear. We just give it time so that we can have so we could keep our mind at ease, and we could understand like where our day goes, and just to keep track. But time is linear.
What do you mean linear?
Means time runs. Everything is happening. Every single possibility or outcome that could ever happen in the world is happening right now.
Yes, but if you travel, 100,000 light years away, and you look back, there's a telescope from somewhere out there, and you look back, you're gonna be looking back at our past. You're gonna be looking back at dinosaurs. That's the theory.
That's the theory.
Or that's the scientific.
Or do you think we're just so limited in our understanding that yeah, right? Because if somebody was to clear it up and tell you this is why time traveling happens, because you could jump through this, and then your mind goes through this, and then you do this. Oh, that is so cool.
Well,
but you could time travel in your mind.
Well, you can do anything in your mind. Mm-hmm. You can go back in time. You can go in the future. Yeah. When you plan, when you create ideas and visions in your head, that's you're looking at the future. And if you make it happen, but you have to make it happen in the present.
You have to make it happen here when you're up in the 3D
for the future. But if we didn't have eyes, would we be aware of color and visual stimulation? No. We wouldn't, right? But are we missing something in our physical being that doesn't allow us to experience or even be aware of another thing? Like if you didn't have the sense of smell, somebody can fart next to you
and you wouldn't even bother.
And you wouldn't even understand, because you wouldn't be aware of that. Everybody be farting like, what was that? I don't know. It's a fart. It's totally cool. It's actually very educated to fart. It shows a lot of pleasure in the house, and then the first person that comes in smelling, what the fuck? It fucking stinks. Everybody stinks in this house. Everybody's farting. Grandpa's going. You going, hey, farting in you start farting on top of people's faces, but you don't know.
You don't smell, yeah.
You don't smell, but would you taste it?
Who knows?
Would you taste it? Ugh. Like if we didn't have the sense of smell, I mean of taste, we wouldn't eat.
I don't. You wouldn't eat for pleasure.
You wouldn't eat for
You
pleasure.
would just eat.
Yeah, you would just eat, and that was it. Eating became something like you don't breathe for pleasure,
No.
unless, of course, you're smelling something delicious. Then you're breathing for pleasure. But how often are you breathing for pleasure? Not often.
Not often.
You're just kind of walking and breathing, right?
But do you know that your eyes only shows you a picture of what's in your imagination?
No,
in
I
your
don't know.
mind?
I don't know that.
Think about it. So if our eyes is the most outward part of our brain, right?
Yes.
Because our brain, so they face out. So you have to, with your brain, intellectualize all of this that we see around us. So this you call a chair because we've all called it a chair.
Somebody invented it.
But it could look completely different to you, the way you see it.
You think so?
I don't know. Because I don't know how you see a chair.
I think it looks I don't know. Because we both come to a thing and we both look at something. Like that's what is that?
That's a cup, but that's because that's the name we've given it.
I know. But you see it the same thing I see.
I don't know.
If you see a flaw in it, you're gonna tell me that's a flaw.
Yeah, but how do you know? But how do you know that cylinder is the way I see cylinder? How about if cylinder is a shape like this, but in my head I was told that this was always cylinder, so it'll always look cylinder regardless.
But everybody was told that was a cylinder because that's a circle.
Yeah, but how do you know that this shape is a circle?
Because we all came to the understanding.
Exactly, but how do you know that that's how I see the shape? If I see it exactly how you do.
But you wouldn't see it square.
You don't know how you see it. I don't know how you see it because I can't perceive through your eyes.
Of course, because if I told you to draw a circle, you're gonna draw it out the way you perceive it.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna do the circle. It's gonna be the same way. I mean, unless I have a sloppy handwriting, then it'll be different.
Because in my head, however that shape is, it's still a circle.
Yeah, but if you see a square box, do you think you'll be able to fit your head through it, or you see a circle box? Are you gonna fit your head through it? No, I think we're both gonna choose the circle box because it'd be easier to go through your head. If it's square, now it's kind of gonna hurt on the angles.
I don't know how to explain myself, but I'll think about it so I can come.
But does that make sense?
What you're saying makes sense too, but what I'm saying makes sense also.
In a way, I've thought about that analogy because you brought it up before.
I brought it up with color.
With color.
Because with color it makes sense.
Yeah.
With color, I was just always taught that this is clear. No. Who knows if I see it darker or lighter than you do? It doesn't matter because we both see it as clear.
If the water's dirty, we both look at it. We're both gonna go.
It doesn't matter.
You want to drink that water?
No.
It looks kind of dirty to me.
No.
It looks dirty to me too.
It's a different. I'm talking about something completely different. What I'm saying is, regardless of the color, in my head that's clear. But how about if it's not really clear? How about if it's pink? But my head, all pinks look clear.
Yeah, but if I show you a color pink, you'd be like, that's pink. And that's clear.
How about if in that color in my head is actually red, but I've always conditioned that pink to be pink? You'll never know because you can't see through my eyes.
Yeah, but we can pick the same tones. We can pick the same
Yes,
variants.
because I was taught that shade is that name.
No, but I don't know a lot of names. I just see the color.
Yes, and I was taught that color is the color name you call it.
Yeah, but I don't call it a color. Like that can be orange, but that's not like right here in the front. Like that's orange, right? But it's not a. I don't know what type of orange.
But how do I know?
We both see it the same. And if we bring another orange, be like, nope, it doesn't match.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. It's fine. That's. I'm completely not saying that. What I'm saying is, yes, the tone orange. That's what that color is. But how do you know that my eyes don't see that tone as a completely different color, but I've always called it orange, so I'm always going to call it orange. Regardless what color I see it as. It's still orange.
Correct. But if I bring another color orange, completely different, and I ask you, hey, we don't know the name of it or anything. Do these kind of match? You're like, no, that one's a little bit off.
Of course it's going to be off.
It's a little bit off.
Because still in my head, I still see it as a different color than the one you're comparing it to.
But we can both agree that they don't match.
Absolutely.
So that means we see the same color.
Why would it be the same color? How about if I see a different variance?
So you're colorblind.
No, just having a different variance. It has nothing to do with being colorblind. It's just I've associated that name with that.
All right. Cool. I don't know. I've thought about that analogy before, but then I started thinking, no, it doesn't make sense to me because we both can agree that we both like that shade of red. And I think,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I've always believed that color to be red. It doesn't matter the shade. It could be violet. I mean, it could be darker red, lighter red. It doesn't matter. It's still a shade of red. And I'm
What
gonna
color is
call
that?
it. That's black. But how do you know what color you see that in your head?
I see it as not completely black.
So you
I
see it dark, right?
I see a little
And how
bit
about if
of
I was taught that every color that I saw that was like this was black, and that means it's dark. But if you were to grab, it would just be cool if one day we can actually be like, yeah, I want to see through your eyes, and like, whoa, your world is completely different than mine. Holy shit, I've never seen that before.
Well,
That's really cool.
I think the only way, or right now, the way to do that, or to capture how you see things, is through photography. Because you're seeing it through the other person's
You're just seeing
eyes.
it through a lens.
Yeah, but you're seeing it how you want it, how you want people to see how you see things.
Yeah, a little
You know, because
bit.
if I take a picture of something, I'm gonna show you how I want you to see it the way I'm seeing it. You know, like
Yes, but how do
that's
you
my
know that?
interpretation.
But how
of
do
it.
you know that you see a tree exactly the way I see a tree?
I don't, but because you may be seeing it from a different angle. So you, maybe the way I see, I try to find a certain point of view, and that's the way I want to see, or I want to experience that tree. And now through photography, I can take my camera, I can, oh, you know what? Because I can take a picture from here, I can take a picture from the left side, from the right side, from the bottom, from the top. But no, I don't want to see it that way. I see it this way. And I want everybody to experience how I see that.
Exactly.
And that's the only way that I think now.
That
like,
or movies.
yes, like a director or yes, exactly. They see an action fight and they put it on camera in a certain way where they're gonna go ahead and allow you to see how they'll see it. And they'll add lighting and they'll add color because they want you to see it the way they see it.
Exactly.
And we're able to, and when we see that, we're able to even feel what the person wanted you to feel.
Exactly. No, it makes sense. I was just saying something funny and just trying to see if that would boggle somebody's mind. But I think it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty dope.
Yeah, but I think that's the only way. So if you take a picture, you're gonna show people the way you see it.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense.
You know? And if you want somebody to see through your eyes, you take the picture and you show them. There you go.
There you go. That's right. Hey guys, I have to go take my son lunch. He's gonna have a nice cheeseburger today. Guys, it was awesome talking to you guys. So our final decision is where we're staying?
Tell them.
Central Florida.
That's what we're looking
Ding,
for.
ding, ding. That's the ringer. So if you know anyone who's selling a house in Central Florida, send them our way because we're interested in purchasing.
All right. Peace, guys. Great
Peace,
podcast.
guys.
I'll see you. We'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Os.
Bye.
Bye.